Just looking at the addresses here, 658 addresses, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's just really weird how we only have 658 addresses and we're supposed to be listing tomorrow, 10 a.m. UTC, 6 a.m. my time, which sucks. But I think around this time for Tamadoge, because that was another pre-sale that I was in, probably just like you guys were, and they had like 20,000 addresses, I believe, around this time. So for us to have, I don't know how many, let's see, 33,000 members in our Telegram, but we've only got, we've got less than 700 address holders. It's kind of suspicious. I don't know. Let me know, kind of what you guys think, but go back over here. So I was looking here. If you go to holders, and you guys have probably done this already, 59% is held by this wallet, which I'm assuming is, the wallet of whoever's, running the show here, because a lot of them are sent out, 77 million, 10 million. So I'm assuming this is the main wallet that everything was held into. If you go here, so we got 1 million. That was our original, amount. So this is the address that's sending everything out, but it's holding 59% of, the entire, pre-sale amount. So I'm assuming that this can be dumped because liquidity hasn't even been sent into Bitmart. I think we're at like 36,000, and you don't have to send a lot of liquidity. I'm sure that they have like a minimum amount, but we've listed on Pancake Swap already, and we don't have any liquidity. So we're listed, but they haven't added any liquidity to the pool. And I looked earlier today on the requirements to list on Pancake Swap, or at least just, pretty much do anything on Pancake Swap, and they don't really have any requirements. All you have to do is provide liquidity. So it's not like they have any, I want to say wall or like a block that's, that Pancake Swap's like, no, you're not allowed to list on our website because of this, this, and this. It's really not like that. Anybody can list on Pancake Swap. You just have to create your token and then provide liquidity. So it's super strange as to why they didn't go on Pancake Swap first. Maybe they were trying to, excuse me, negate the same thing that happened with maybe Tamadoge, because when Tamadoge listed on Pancake Swap, I mean, it shot up like 800%. And then as soon as they listed it on, I can't remember exactly where they listed it on. I don't remember. OKX, they added all that dilution essentially, and price went all the way down to like, I don't remember. I can't tell you. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, let alone that. But anyway, 20% is supposed to be for the liquidity, and token sales were at 40%. Marketing and advertising, development, yada yada. So nothing's adding up right now. I mean, you've got 7% here, 77. We don't know who these people are. These could be, the mods. Who knows? And if these people drop, we're going to see an exponential drop, at listing price. Tomorrow we're supposed to list at like 0.005, but based on all the rhetoric that we're seeing in the Telegram, and you guys have been there, you guys know, it's all negative for the most part, because they were not able to, communicate with us effectively, and everybody was it was nowhere near like the way Tamadoge. If you guys were in the Tamadoge chat, there was always a mod. There was always 3 or 4 mods, and they were answering every single question. It was super easy to understand. But Telegram for Shopayment has been the exact opposite. No answers for Pancake Swap. Regardless, I mean, the best way in Telegram to, kind of shut all that stuff down, and the FUD to shut it down, is just answer people's questions, and try to help everybody out. But when all the mods left, I mean, I don't know. Let's look here. Nothing. Just bots. Just the bot rows. And that's pretty much it. There was a guy the other day, I don't remember what his name was, but he was talking mad crazy, just downing the project, and everybody was feeding into it. So I mean, that's odd. Pump it. Let's see here. I don't know. You guys got any questions? I mean, I know a lot of people are asking like the same question. They're like, I don't see my tokens in my wallet, and half these people probably haven't even, put in the custom token address. So it's there. You just can't view it because you don't have the token address in there. And I don't know if that has anything to do with um, the fact that we only have 658 addresses. Like, I'm not a guru on this at all. I mean, I have a decent amount of knowledge to, kind of navigate through this kind of, stuff. But does it, maybe you guys have an answer for me, if they haven't set up their custom wallet address yet and the tokens aren't viewable in their in their wallet because they haven't set up their address, then if they don't really have an address, then would that mean that, our 658 addresses could be higher if more people were to put the custom address into their wallet and actually gain the tokens? So are the tokens essentially floating around somewhere, supposed to go to that address, but isn't because they haven't added it yet? Who knows? 941 transfers. I'm really worried about this though. This 59% holding right there, because I don't know if they can dump this out because they haven't added this, liquidity over to Bitmart. Where is Bitmart at? Where did I see that at? Let me look for, let me go to last and then go one back. Okay, Bitmart wallet. So Bitmart wallet 2. And I looked for another Bitmart wallet, 1, couldn't find it, but they've only sent 36,000 Spay tokens to this Bitmart wallet address. And they did that yesterday or almost 2 days ago. So who knows? I'm not really getting any questions from you guys, so I guess everybody's all up to date and everything, but that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I was just kind of putting this live stream up to get rid of the scripting and see if I could talk to some of you guys, and that's pretty much it. Let's see here. Let's read some of these. Still ongoing, saying you will receive, relax. Yeah. 10 a.m. you will be able to trade the token. Yes. What's your prediction? MetaMask price is 0.004. I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to look that up. In MetaMask price is 0.004. Not showing. Is it normal that a token shows in Bitmart before Pancake swap? I mean, no and yes. Yes and no. I don't know. Let's see. Wait, our announcement about Pancake swap listing. Yep, we've seen that like 1,000 times by now at least. So I don't even think that's gonna happen. Like, there's no point in listing on Bitmart and then announcing that you're gonna list on Pancake swap. Like, there's other than the decentralized exchange, aspect of it, but people are just waiting for it to list in general. Is it valid that I can only get my Spay if I send the same amount to my wallet? Is it valid that whatever. With less than 700 holding, I think we need some pumped up volume to hit any of those targets you guys are saying, but I'm hoping we hit all of them. Yeah, I mean, again, 700 holders, and a majority of them, let's go back here. Let's go back. Oops, sorry guys. All right, so on the first page, a majority, so we've got anywhere from 1 million all the way up until 594 million, which is that original address. So if any of these guys dump, from the 77 million down to, let's say, like the 5 million point, the smaller token holders are screwed. I mean, I'm holding 1.35 million, and I'm not even, I'm like, yeah, somewhere in here. So this is just fishy. 77 million. I mean, for if that's just some average Joe, that's a hell of a lot. Let's see, get out of here. So we are listing directly on Bitmart. Let's see what the new comments are. Oh, just me. Well, it is what it is, guys. We'll see how everything goes tomorrow in the morning. I'll be up at probably like around 5 a.m. and get some breakfast, and then see how everything goes at 6 a.m. See how everything. I mean, we'll all be in the chats. It's either going to be really bad or it's going to be really good. I personally, honestly think. How do I say this? I mean, it's a good idea, right? It's a good idea, and you guys will see me say it in the chat. It's a good idea that they came up with, trying to have a decentralized, Amazon essentially. But at the same time, an idea is just an idea. You can have a great idea. How many great ideas have you had, but you never executed? You never wrote a plan down. You never actually executed. You didn't wake up, day by day, 5 a.m. in the morning to try to figure out, how you're going to get everything, done. What kind of teams you're going to put together, and as we've seen, they haven't really put much of a team together. They've only had, as far as I can see, like 3 or 4 mods, and those mods have been freaking non-existent. So how are you supposed to grow this project and, um, make investors feel, safe and happy like this project's gonna do well if you don't have a team and you don't speak with everybody on Telegram like Tamadoge did. Tamadoge spent a hell of a lot of money on marketing, as you guys remember. I mean, they were all over the place. You couldn't go to a crypto site probably without actually seeing Tamadoge banner somewhere. So all the mods that they had, they spent a lot of money on mods, marketing, and making sure that everybody was taken care of. And yeah, it went straight down like a pump and dump. But I mean, it's a new project. It's the hype, and then it comes down. Now Tamadoge in like, you know 3 months, maybe 1 year, when we're out of a freaking macroeconomic recession, and they actually come out with their app, and you're actually able to play that game um, on virtual reality or augmented reality on your phone. you know Maybe we see Tamadoge do a 10x or a 5x. You never know, but it's still in the early stages, and you can expect, with the hype, that it'll come up and it'll come down. It is what it is. But with Shopayment, we're not seeing any of that. I mean, they marketed decently for a little bit, but then they got banned by Coin Sniper, so that was a wrap. They weren't paying attention, and I guess they weren't communicating with us, and they weren't communicating with Matt. And I spoke with Matt, and he kind of gave me the rundown on what happened, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can't expect to stay on Coin Sniper and get promoted if you're not communicating. They were supposed to be doing a KYC, and I talked to Matt about that, and they evidently just botched that completely. So the audit that they did, told you guys in my last video, the audit they did was on a token generated, token, or using a token generator. And that's just not, it's not true. Let's just say that. But how can you expect the project to do good and us as investors and actually believe in the project if they're not going to spend the money on mods, build teams in order to take the project further? If you don't have a team and you're trying to build a project, if you're a manager or a leader and you don't have a team and your team's not taking care of you and you don't put people in the right place, then you're screwed. Nothing's going to happen. I think that's what we're seeing here. So, kind of my prediction with what Showpayment's going to do is they had a obviously really good pre-sale. You guys and I are all in this pre-sale because of the bonuses, and you pretty much invested money and you're already up. You're already up $500, $1,000. So if we list at 0.005, then you're going to be up a hell of a lot more. Maybe a 5x, 6x, just depends on how much I guess you put in. So I don't know. My prediction, just like many of you on this Telegram, is that if we list at 0.005, it's going to be a massive dump. There's barely any liquidity, and people just don't believe in this project. And if it were anything like Tamadoge, it might actually shoot up from 0.005 to 0.008 or 0.01. But I just don't see that happening here, just because it's crap. It's botched. There's just no, I don't mean to spread FUD or anything. I know a lot of you guys believe in this project, and again, it's a great idea. If they could execute on it, maybe I'm freaking completely wrong. Maybe they're just underfunded, or not underfunded. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they don't care about, not us as investors, but they don't want to spend that kind of money on mods and stuff like that because they have a bigger picture in mind, and they think Telegram is just probably one of those stupid chat rooms that's just good for marketing, and they don't think that the people in this chat, the 33,000 members, if half of them are real, are actually going to put a dent in their business plan. So maybe that could be the case. If I'm completely wrong, maybe they're just taking all their funds and allocating that towards other things in growth for the company. But at the same time, the chances of that are slim, in this space, in the crypto space, of them actually already having a team. The team is just not in Telegram, and maybe the team is working hard, behind the scenes trying to get everything done. But just the way that everything has been handled with Pancake swap listing, they've been promising that forever. They're not even saying it. It's rose. So realistically, if you guys think about it, we haven't heard anything from any of the mods really regarding the Pancake Swap listing. It's just been Rose, and she's a program bot. I mean, if you put in, let me see here, just Pancake Swap. See if it comes through. Oh, maybe not. Pancake? Oh no. She should come up here in a minute. Rose should come up here in any second just to tell you. Anyway, so I kind of forgot what I was saying here. Where is she at? I gotta find one. Where are you at, Rose? No, okay, she got to me here. I don't know. Anyway, so again, I doubt that it's a situation where they've got a whole team on the sidelines doing all the work, trying to get everything done. That versus they just completely abandon, whatever they got their funds. I would almost go as far as to say that they didn't even plan listing on Bitmart initially until they saw that everybody was getting pissed off, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just list on Bitmart. We'll put a little bit of liquidity in. We'll see how everything goes, but let's just keep a majority of our tokens, inside the wallet still at 59%. And again, nothing's been sent from this address in the last 21 hours, and we list tomorrow morning. So super sketch about that. I mean, I'm going to be watching this like a hawk. Like in the morning, I'm going to be watching this address like crazy. So if you guys are going to be up, I don't know what time, 10 a.m. UTC or wherever you are in the world, excuse me, I would find the contract address or go into Telegram, just type in contract, and she'll pop up and you can just click on it, and then come down here and go to holders, and then look at this address, and then just see what it does. If it starts paying people out, I mean, realistically, 658 addresses, right? So I don't know. Go here. Let's see. 28 of those addresses are holding 2 million or more. So 2% or more. So if we list it, 0.005, and the first 28 of these people just dip out, then we're going to be in some trouble. My plan is, honestly, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, as soon as this thing lists, I'm out, regardless of whether or not it goes to 0.005 or whether it goes to 0.003. I don't care, just because it's too risky, and I don't want it to go down to like 0.001. This is just the risk that we took, and I put in like $1,500-$1,600, and as of now at 0.002426, whatever the last pre-sale stage was, I mean, we're up I think that's up to like 32. So, it's still up, but there was if you guys watched my last video, there was another crypto project that we kind of, I guess, linked to this specific management. And I don't remember exactly how we linked them. I read it in some Telegram group, and I did a bunch of research on my own, and like the white paper was like worded the same. And then if you go to the Cranch, I think it was, did I say Clinch? Cranch, whatever. It's called Cranch Crypto. If you look it up, it's around. But they listed in like 2021. Again, it's Cranch Crypto. And if you go to the Telegram group, the Cranch Telegram group, the mods and other people in there are actually promoting Shopayment, Spay, inside of the Cranch. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, I think I have it. Cranch. Where is it at? Do I have it? Hold on a second. Cranch. No, 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Telegram. Sorry, guys. Computer's loading super slow right now. I'm definitely not going to find it there. Let me go back to Telegram. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Twitter. Twitter might have it. Cringe. Okay. All right, so 2021, listed on Hotbit. Still need to find the Telegram though. I might be. Wait, do they have a website? No. Okay, follow us at Grants, blah, blah, TG. There you go. Okay, open Telegram desktop. There we go. Okay. So, as you guys can see here, you got a bunch of people joining the group, October 19th, whatever. But so this is what I'm talking about. Cranch, Joseph, Mod, whatever. So they're marketing Shopayment inside the Cranch Telegram, which is super odd. But I was like, okay, whatever. And then I started scrolling back, and this is going to take. See, this is back down to September 21, go back up. Now, the reason I'm showing you guys this is, and if you watch my last video, you'll kind of already know, but they had an issue with Cranch listing at like 50% of what they said it was supposed to list at. So essentially, if this is the same management team and they were the one that did Cranch and they listed for 50% less, and if Shopayment lists, 50% less, then we're going to be in trouble. So, and I think that's, possible because they only added 36,000 in liquidity. I might be wrong. Again, I'm not like a guru on this stuff. I mean, I'm not like, perfect, but I know enough. I'm trying to find, because there was a lot of people complaining. Come on, go back. Okay, July 31st. Where's the pump? So I think we need to be shilling more. Deleted account. What a dead chat. Whatever. I gotta find the right ones. Mods are project helper, not just like Jeff Bezos. Yada yada yada. Man, this thing is slow. This is nauseating. I'm sorry, guys. Date of distributed airdrop. When will the Pancake swap bid? See, same thing. When will the Pancake swap bid? Told us, you Cranch guys told us within a week 100x, but we all forgot to ask it to pump or dump. Day one, 54% dump, 50% dump. Day three, same. What's the strategy? Every 50% dump. I don't know why he put dumb, but I'm a major investor and suffered, yada yada. So they did list like 50% lower. Trying to find the exact. When is CMC listing? Yeah, I might not find it, guys. I know this is just taking freaking forever. There's so many. And you guys know how these Telegram chats get. Like they'll have like 1,000 or 1,000, 10,000 messages in one day. When launch. Cranch to the moon. Okay, you can see live on Hotbit, live fudding. I don't know. I got a feeling Big Eyes. Oh, sorry, buddy. I didn't even see that. I got a feeling Big Eyes is a scam too. Hopefully not. Well, look, the thing about Big Eyes is, and this is kind of a rule that I've made so far. I like after this whole thing with Shopayment, this is another rule that I'm going to have is I'm only going to do reviews on stuff that has a KYC or an audit. Now, obviously, a KYC and an audit doesn't necessarily mean that the project is completely safe, but at least we have a little bit more to go on, because with Shopayment, if they had a KYC, if you guys don't know, KYC is know your customer. So they have to put in, IDs, names, stuff like that, stuff that will connect them, to the project. And it's not foolproof again, but it's still, better than not having one. So Showpayment had an audit, but it was a crap audit. And a lot of you can agree with that. But thing about Big Eyes is their audit seemed to be okay. I went back and looked at everything; it looked fine. But the KYC is a good indicator that they it's less likely to be a scam. Now, I'm not saying, look, Big Eyes. I've got. I'm not going to tell you how much I have invested in Big Eyes because I did a video on that one too. But I'm invested in Big Eyes too, and again, I think it's still going to be a case where it gets a lot of hype, it gets a lot of marketing, and a lot of people flood into it. And some, you know, what I'm trying to say is don't expect a crazy amount of growth from these companies, right off the bat. These are companies that are just starting, and like any other ICO or IPO in the stock market, they gain a lot of liquidity, they get a lot of capital from a lot of investors, and then of course it's going to shoot up and then it's going to come down a little bit. So it depends on you, and your risk assessment on your portfolio to figure out, how much risk you want to take, how much you want to invest, and when your exit strategy is going to be. Because if you just hold forever, you're bound to lose money. So usually my plan for these projects is, um, you know, put in the initial, investment, and then do research obviously first, but put in the initial investment, and then once pre-sale hits, or once everything lists, depending on where they list, I'll usually get out almost immediately. Just because if I'd rather make, $100, I'd rather make $100 off of $100. I'd rather make 100%, or even 50%. It doesn't matter. Like I have a rule, 20% and I'm out. It doesn't matter. But it's better than, holding on and then hoping, for everything to just shoot back up. I don't Big Eyes. I don't know. It's got a KYC, it's got an audit. I think it's way better off than Showpayment is, like by far, just because of their marketing and because looking at, let's go back to their Telegram. Get out of here. Big Eyes. Oh, come on. What is going on here? There we go. Okay. So 22,000 members, less than Showpayment, but not a big deal. But, they're all over the place. Let's see. Big Eyes Coin, constantly messaging. Everybody's, super hype. Big Eyes is messaging again. Big Eyes is messaging again. Like they're the mods and the whole development team and everything. They're, it's a hype project. They've got a lot of marketing around them, and look at that, man. I mean, how can you not think that's, kind of cool? Somebody had to make that, right? But Showpayment doesn't do any of this stuff. They don't care. So I don't think, as far as Big Eyes being a scam, even if it is, something that, you wouldn't want to be invested in, long term. I don't think Big Eyes is going to produce very ridiculous returns in a short period of time. If it's something you believe in and you want to stay in the project, go right ahead. But for me personally, I don't think it's a scam. I just think that it will be victim of, the initial, pump, and then the dump. People are going to want to get in, they're going to want to get out. And then if you want to hold on to it, then, and it again, just like Tamadoge, if Big Eyes somehow catches like a large project, if they somehow get in an agreement with somebody who is doing, I don't know, some sort of ocean saving, because that's what they're doing. They're marketing, saving the oceans and stuff like that. So let's just say 1 year goes by and it's not looking good, and you just keep your coins in there, keep your tokens in there, you believe in the company, awesome. I do think that they will be a long-term project. I don't think they're going anywhere. It just depends. I could be completely wrong. I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but if they do get, a contract with someone, it doesn't even have to be a big contract. It could be a contract with like 2 or 3 ocean saving companies, around, maybe around the world or something like that. That'll help the price. Maybe they'll fund it. This is a community driven coin. 70% of the tokens are going towards the community. So, and it's based on people buying the NFTs and actually mingling, I guess you could call it, with the project. So as a community driven coin, yeah, it can go up and then it can go down, both ways very, very fast. So as far as Big Eyes goes, I'm gonna take my initial out of Big Eyes as soon as it drop and leave them moving back. Yeah, and hey, that's your prerogative, man. If that's what you want to do, then that's no problem at all. I agree with you. Pretty sure a good portion of those first 28 addresses are going to dump on launch for show payment, Jason. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to think about it. But yeah, that's to be completely honest with you, and I'm gonna be one of them. I'm probably gonna be one of them just because it's not worth the risk for me. I mean, 15, 1600 bucks isn't like a crazy amount to lose, but at the same time, I mean, if I get out with my original investment, I won't be mad. I thought my initial thought process, and this is why I made the video on show payment. My initial thought process for this was, it's a good idea. And they seemed in the beginning, because in the beginning their chat was great, everything was good. It seemed fine. The mods and the development team were answering me. I actually had a transaction that didn't fall through, but one of my transactions got stuck um on the blockchain somewhere, and I actually had to message the mod and talk with them directly, and they were able to not front run, but pull it out of where it was, and get it back to me. So that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, we got support. As an investor, I had an issue. They were able to clear it up within a couple hours. That's fine. Now, coming to find out, it looks like they just wanted the money in the account. Now, granted, I got my tokens, which a lot of us thought that we weren't going to get our tokens, but that's the problem. Is when Tamadoge was supposed to be giving us our tokens, they said, the mods would come out and say, hey, this is when we plan to give you guys your tokens. And they posted that like every 5 minutes. So the issue with Telegram is, and you guys know this, there's new people from Telegram coming in and coming out. So everybody's asking the same question every single 5 minutes. So the only way that the mods can obviously combat this and keep everybody on the same page is just post the same thing over and over and over again. So show payment could have programmed Rose, the bot, to post the same thing over and over and over again every time somebody used like a keyword. So for instance, if somebody said, when are our tokens being distributed, or when token distribution or whatever, they would just type that in, and then Rose would automatically have like a picture that pops up that says, we will give you your tokens on this day at this time. And that's what Tamadoge did, and it really worked, and that's what a lot of projects do. But in this case, for show payment, they didn't do any of that. So everybody, from like, they may say it once, but all they say is, we'll distribute the tokens after the pre-sale ends. That's not good enough, because the pre-sale had already ended. Pre-sale had ended, and nobody knew anything for like a whole full 24 hours. And I think there was a short period of time where the pre-sale had already ended, but you could still go on the website and buy pre-sale. And I don't know if you could still buy. I didn't try, because I wasn't trying to figure it out. I was too busy doing other things. But anyway, I think you can still go on their show payment. I mean, I'm on it right now, show payment website, and click buy pre-sale. So buy token. So yeah, now it says our token sales have been finalized, blah 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 blah. So yes, anyway, the Telegram chat was a disaster. Like, I mean, it was just bad. So anyway, my like I said, guys, my plan is, I'm not going to stay in this long term. It was a great idea initially with my original video. Like I was saying, I assumed trying to take market share. Let's just put it this way. And in the video, I said that it's a multi-billion. I think Amazon did a yearly revenue of over 400 billion, almost 500 billion. And if you had the idea, like show payment does, to come in the middle of a market share, and that's just Amazon. So you're forgetting or Shopify, Etsy, and all those other websites, eBay, and you stick in a decentralized form of Amazon or Shopify, where you don't have to pay intermediary parties a bunch of credit card fees and stuff like that, and you only pay with crypto, which effectively reduces or pretty much eliminates any restrictions on like cross-country transactions or cross-country shipments and stuff like that. Now, the only issue with that one, is, on a side note, is that there are laws that say that you can't ship from certain places right now. So how they would get past that, show payment or any other company, how they would get past that is beyond me. That's why initially I thought that, hey, this doesn't really make any sense. How are they going to get away with this legally if we have those type of laws? Like, somebody's going to get in trouble. But anyway, if a company was able to do that and steal even a little bit of like a small amount of the market share that we have for e-commerce, as we know it, if they make, $50 billion a year, in revenue, or $10 billion a year in revenue, yeah, we're not going to have, Amazon's price, right now, which is, I don't even remember. Um, Amazon, you guys probably know before I do. Oh, okay, yeah, 115. They did a split. I forgot about that. So anyway, they were at like thousands. So we wouldn't have those type of prices for show payment, initially. But even if they got a small amount, like I said, 5 billion, 10 billion, 20, 50 billion a year in revenue, we would be higher than 0.005, 0.0024. But again, it's a great idea. But if you don't have the team and you don't execute, and you don't put things the way they're supposed to be, and you don't just, it's hard work. It's hard work to put these projects in. You wake up every day, ass crack of dawn, and then you go to bed late, and you have to make sure you're holding your team accountable and making sure they're doing what they're doing. And if you don't have any of that, then everything falls apart. And basically what this was is just, hey, give me your money. I'm going to hold it here, in this address, 59%, and I'm going to give some to, maybe, I who knows how many actual addresses there are? Who knows how many holders? Who knows how many people actually bought and didn't get their coins? There's still people on Telegram saying they haven't received their tokens, but some of these people, again, might be those people that didn't put in their token address. And I'm sorry, but by now, if you're investing in these pre-sales, you should know how to import a custom token address. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying, it's kind of something you need to know. But who knows how many addresses there actually are? So 59%. It's just not looking good. But let's see what we got here. What I didn't like is they lost control of that chat with the scammers posting. Yeah, man, that was. I was like, it was at that point that I was like, man, this is done. And I was like, I just lost my money. I wasn't even mad because, I mean, obviously I took the risk, but it was at that point, once I saw like Rose get hacked, and it was like putting a different contact address, and saying, oh, we're listed on Pancake Swap, go to this address. And you can clearly see that on Pancake Swap, there's two Spays. There's one that had, the icon, and then there's one that didn't. So obviously the one that they were sending was the one that didn't. So anybody that actually, and I looked at the liquidity pool, and I looked at, the chart and everything, and it shot up, supposedly. I mean, I didn't invest in it or anything, but I'm sure people, made some, and then other people, lost some. But anyway, yeah, when we saw the scammers posting all that stuff, I was, and then they got back control of it. It was within a few hours that I think they had control back of it. But then it took the one of the mods like another full, maybe it was this morning, no, maybe it was yesterday, where they actually were able to get rid of that bot who was putting out that fake address. But I wonder how many people fell for that. Like, because there's so many people in this chat that are like so antsy to get their money, get this project going. They're like, they're not patient. And if you've been in pre-sales long enough, you know that, at least for most of them, patience is key. As long as there's communication with the Telegram chat and stuff like that. Oh man, yeah, that's what I thought. I figured I did. So Jason, wait, hold on. So you put money into that new contract? What happened? Like, what happened exactly? Um, So yeah, that it was bad, man. I when I looked at the scammer stuff, and then they couldn't figure it out, it was, I don't know. Originally you couldn't. Oh yeah, dude. No, so Matt from Coin Sniper actually posted in his Telegram chat, and he may have posted in our Telegram chat too, but it said there was actually, they banned him. It was a 99% sell tax. So if you sold, so that's probably why you couldn't sell. So if you were in Pancake Swap and you would have put like 99% on your what's it called here? If you were to go, get out of here. What is all this? Hide all, get out of here. I can't do it from here. So if you were to put 99% on your slippage tolerance like this, or maybe you can. It says, how high can you go on your slippage tolerance? You guys probably know this more than I do. I mean, let's just see. 35. You can go to 35, 45, 50. Okay, maybe so you can go to 45. Yeah. So I guess if you were to put, a higher slippage or whatever, but he told me that there was a 99% sell tax. So if you were to try to sell, they would have just taken all your stuff anyway. I'm not gonna ask you how much you put in, but I'm sorry, man. That sucks. That sucks balls. Um, let's see. I agree with you. Pretty sure a good portion of this. Yep, that's going over that. Yeah. So let's see. We list in my time. I'm in the U.S. I'm not sure where you guys are, but we list at 6 a.m. I'm gonna be up, like I said. Okay, so Jason says the max you can put in is 50, which is weird. I mean, how do you have a 90? How does that work? I mean, if you have a 99% sell tax, but you put in a 50% slippage, so you just to see if you could sell. So you couldn't even sell at 50% slippage. That's crazy. So it's almost like, how does that work out for them then? Like, if there's a 99% sell tax and you need to have slippage at 99% and you still couldn't sell, like, did they make any money, like, at all? Or did it just, did they just dump the liquidity pool? I don't know. Oh, you know what? Never mind. They put 99% so you couldn't sell at all because you can't sell 99%. Okay, I see what they did. Sorry. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. this morning, so that my brain's not clicking today. But yeah, so they put 99%. That's crap though. Like, why would Pancake Swap allow you to put a 99 as a token, lister? Why would they allow you to put a 99% slippage or tax if that would just, to me, that's a bad thing on Pancake Swap spot. You shouldn't even be able to do that, because that just screams like, hey, I'm a bad token lister and I'm just trying to steal everybody's money. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, man. That's like, I hope it wasn't a lot of money. I hope it was just maybe $100, $200 just to see kind of what happened. But we're on Spay now. We don't have any chart at all. Really, let's go back to the Telegram and see what's going on. Boom. Will attend, depends on my time zone. It's all right, Coin Engineer. Coin Engineer has been very active. Oh, only $50? That's not bad, man. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. That's okay. $50. $50 is a good lesson learned. It's not a big deal. So, I mean, the chat's just not active at all, really. Please go and vote for Shopayment on Coin Discovery. I haven't even gone to this one yet. Let's copy the selected text. Go here. What is going on here? Sorry, guys. Shopayment. 0.001. Okay, that's weird. Market cap, total supply, circulating supply. Okay, they did have that 40%. Nothing listed. I don't know why it's on Kraken. Oh, it says listed on 6watch. Is this even the right one? Is the contract? Yeah, contract address looks the same. Showpayment.com. How many votes? Votes today, 0. 33,000 votes here. Voted for listing, 500. So pretty much, I don't know. I'm not voting for it. I know that, but we're coming up on 9 o'clock. I'm going to get off here soon, guys. I got to take my son, or get my son to bed and hang out with the wifey and just watch the Telegram chat. I mean, Telegram chat's not doing anything, so there's really nobody that's... Hello, team. What is the current value of Spay token? Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about, man. Like, what is the current value of Spay token? Like, if you have to ask, then, I mean, you shouldn't even be here, realistically. Like, somebody's going to reply Burn Garner, and they're going to tell them the same thing. I mean, what is the current value of Spay token? Like, it just baffles me, man. Like, these kind of questions. Like, it literally takes like 5 to 10 minutes worth of research to see that, what's going on with this. What is the current value of Spay token? And then this, and again, this is what I'm saying. Bumgarner Pedro, whatever kind of name that is giving him false information. 0.005. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be listing at, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the current value. Again, we don't know if we're going to have the same issue like Cranch where we list at half. Dude, if we list at like 0.0025, I'm going to be a little pissed. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, I'm going to get out, but it's just, I don't know. But this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, see, this is the same guy. Pedro, come on, man. You can't tell this guy 0.005. Look, Pedro's here, and then Pedro's on the chat. um, we don't know. We don't know what it's gonna list at. You can't don't tell a guy current value of Spay token is 0.005. I mean, but again, hey, if you tell him and he believes it, that's kind of his fault. Because again, he probably should have done some research to figure out this hasn't even been listed yet, and we've been having so many problems with it getting listed. And now it's listing on Bitmart, which requires a KYC to sell, withdrawal. I don't think you have to have a KYC to deposit, but I think off the top of my head, I don't know if China, because I know there's some people in the Telegram chat that are from China. I don't think you can use Bitmart in China. Let me double check. And so some people are kind of locked out, and they'll probably have to use like a VPN. And I don't know if they're not gonna go on that route. But they said it would be like listed or at 0.005. I mean, yeah, of course they said it would be, but again, I mean, based on everything that we're seeing so far with this project and the developers, excuse me, you can't really trust anything they say. Let's see, can I use Bitmart in China? Bitmart to exclude all users from mainland China in November 2021. Bitmart to stop serving mainland China users. So if you're from China and you're trying to use Bitmart and you bought any of this token, you're pretty much screwed, and you would have had to wait for Pancake swap. And that's why a lot of people are pissed and they want Pancake swap listing, because if you're from China, it doesn't matter. It's decentralized exchange. You don't have to provide a KYC, and pretty much anybody in the world can use it. Bitmart asks for basic verification to trade, but there is a full verification option as well. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so yesterday I don't use Bitmart. I've never really used Bitmart. I use like Coinbase or KuCoin, stuff like that. And I used Bitmart yesterday. I made an account, and then I did a basic verification, my name and all that kind of stuff. But then I went to do a test. So I inputted some, Bitcoin, or I inputted some, BNB, whatever the case may be. And then I went to go try to, withdraw or send. It was something I tried to do, and it told me that I had to do a full verification. So maybe I messed up. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that if you were to, buy Spay token and then you were going to withdraw it, or not withdraw it, but trade from whatever trading pair there is, it's probably going to be BNB or something like that, or a Binance BTC. But if you were to try to withdraw that, you would probably have to do a full verification, because they're required by exchange commissions to provide tax information and all that kind of stuff that way. And you guys know how all this stuff works. I don't really have to kind of explain it to you, but the KYC is there to make sure that no scams, for that being, and then tax stuff. So if you make $20,000 on Spay and you go to withdraw it, you're paying taxes on that. But with a KYC verification, they're going to send you something, and if you don't pay it, then the IRS, if you're in the US, the IRS is going to come knocking at your door. Not knocking at your door, but you're going to get something. Let's see. Let's get out of Cranch. Okay. And I think that's all I got today, guys. Let's double check this real quick. 59482. Let's just refresh this real quick. I want to see if anything else has been sent out. 21 hours, 22 hours, nothing. Let's go back. Transfers 15 minutes ago. Yeah, but that was from probably somebody's wallet to wallet. Somebody just messaged in a Telegram chat. See, real. No. Let's reply. That's listing price. Allegedly. Supposedly. We don't know yet for sure. And I've kind of taken initiative on the let's see, actually CoinMooner also had Spay listed there. We had 70k votes on there when I saw it. CoinMooner. Yeah, I think a lot of like the websites like CoinMooner, CoinSniper, Coin this, Coin that, a lot of them have Spay listed. And again, that's where Shopayment did most of their marketing, but not once did I really see Shopayment, for instance, on Google. So Like, dude, when I typed in Tamadosh, like the first time when they started listing in like stage one or phase one or whatever, I had everything, like all these things from, and obviously analytics, insight, and all these. Maybe this crypto could become the first $1 meme coin. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Did Motley Fool make a Tamadosh? See, wow. So the Motley Fool posted something about Tamadosh. That's kind of crazy. Um, my computer's running hot. Let's go back. But if I go, come on, what's going on here? But if I go to Shopayment, sure they have stuff from Analytics, Insight, and stuff like that. But look, nothing. All I see is Shopayment website. It's on Coin or CMC, crypto predictions, yada yada. But there's no like articles being written about it. It's just this generic, like Shopayment is forecasted to be worth average zero. So all this stuff is like it's calculated. It's like a computer. So they don't actually write any of this stuff. They just put it in a like an algorithm, and then it kind of spits out whatever information you want. But when Tamadoge was in its pre-sale stage and it was getting ready to list, and even when it was in its first pre-sale stage, they had already had marketing like out the yin yang. There was articles all over the place, and like I said, you go to any crypto website and you had a banner that said Tamadoge, the next Axie Infinity, or whatever the case may be. And that worked out for them. So my point is that Showpayment did a lot of marketing on all these websites like CoinMooner and CoinSniper, because that's where a lot of us look. We want to find the next thing so we can freaking moon, right? But that's as far as it goes. So that kind of tells us that they're willing to spend as much money as they can there, but they're not willing to spend money anywhere else as far as analytics, insight, or some of these other like low level blogs, or just whatever, blogs, whatever else is like blogs. Sorry, my mind is mush today. But if you're only gonna invest money in marketing on those websites, then that kind of tells me like they're just in it for the money. They're just trying their best to like gather as much capital as they can from investors like us, but they're not actually trying to spread awareness of their name and their mission, and their company as a whole, because that's what Tamadoge did. That's why Tamadoge was so successful coming out the gate, because they went 800%, is because and I'm assuming it's real, like the development team, granted everything went down, but that's just how it's going to be. You can't argue that. But they put a lot of money into the Coin Sniper, CoinMooner, and all that stuff, but they also put a lot of money into the blogs and on Google and stuff, and it helped their awareness and it helped their mission. Their mission is to Tama rallies after price correction, 10 reasons Tamadoge will pump. So stuff like this, man. I mean, there's just so many news articles for Tamadoge. And I wonder, like 10 days ago, I wonder if I went all the way back, I could probably find them for like months ago, maybe like a month before they even friggin' listed. And they have a good roadmap. Augmented reality gaming is it's pretty much the future of gaming. Like my son's 4, right? So when I grew up, again, I had Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, the original Game Boy that was freaking gray and fat. If you chucked it at somebody, it'd knock them out. But now they've got, headsets, augmented reality. They have a phone, Pokemon Go. That was one of the first games that kind of implemented augmented reality, at a large level, wide scale, and it blew up. Everybody was playing. I was playing Pokemon Go, man. I don't know about you guys, but Pokemon Go, I don't play it anymore, but got kind of boring for me. I was never really like a huge Pokemon fan, but I thought it was pretty cool. So, but that's the kind of stuff that our kids and the kids, after us are going to be growing up with. Eventually, you're just going to have, they already have them, glasses, where you just, have the glasses on and you can just watch TV, while you're walking or something. I don't know why anybody want to do that, but you guys get my point, is that the technology is there, and Tamadoge is just kind of like, they're going to implement the augmented reality gaming. They're going to implement, the virtual reality gaming, with Oculus headsets and stuff like that. So, and the fact that it's based on like a Tamagotchi, concept, which again, if you watch my Tamadoge video, Tamagotchi was extremely successful, and it's super simple. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to pull out your phone and have Tamadoge on your phone with an augmented reality, like, pet right there. And you're just like, all right, feed him, clean up his poop, do all this stuff, take care of him, swipe, done. And then you're like, oh man, cool. I can get like a new, collar for my dog, or I can get a new, something, a new dog house or something. Now he's going to integrate and they're going to integrate the software and he's going to go in there and sleep or something like that. There's so many possibilities that they have where they can develop the software and make it cooler for kids to use now. And I'm not saying that like everybody's going to use Tamadoge. It's just a game. It's just a game. It does have utility. You can buy the NFTs. I think you can battle your Tamadogs against other people's Tamadogs, but I have to read up on it again. But again, utility, gameplay, keeping people interested, marketing and stuff like that. That's why Tamadoge has done and probably will do, decently well over the next, as long as they stay afloat, with liquidity and stuff like that, capital, over the next like 3 or 4 years as augmented reality gaming, tends to or begins to take hold more than it has. The same thing with IBAT. A lot of people are hating on IBAT because it's fluctuating in price and stuff like that, but things like IBAT are in their infancy. Like the concept of fantasy sports and fantasy gaming and stuff like that in an augmented reality setting or in a virtual reality setting. It's at least for it to be cool enough and look good enough and actually be fun, in those types of sense, for it to be, all those things right now, it's just not going to happen. So of course you're going to see the price go down, and Battle Infinity is probably going to be around for quite a while, as long as, again, they have liquidity and the capital and stuff like that, and they're evolving with the space. But these two projects seem to, have the right idea, and they have good marketing, and they have good execution, good teams. So Spay had so many votes on CoinCypher. It was like tied with IMPT. I think a lot of the votes, dude, on CoinSniper and a lot of CoinMoon and all that stuff, they're paid for. I mean, how the hell are you gonna have 600,000 votes? And again, you can vote, I think, once a day, right? But 600,000 votes on a project that just promoted itself, and I don't believe it. I don't believe you're gonna have 600,000 votes. It's possible, but I mean, look, 33,000 people in our Telegram for Spay, and we have shit. Sorry guys, let me go to CoinSniper real quick. And you guys probably already have this stuff, off the top of your head, but I can't even look at it. Hold on a sec. I forgot they're banned, but you can still look at it if you go to Google L. Sniper Shopayment. Come on. There you go. This project has been banned. Oh, okay. Now it's not going to tell me how many votes it had. That sucks. Well, anyway, let's just say if we had 500,000 votes, right? I think we had like 300,000 or 400,000, but 33,000 people. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be. I mean, they'd have to vote, 10 times? All of them would have to vote 10 times. So that's not out of the realm of possibilities at all. I mean, it could happen, but I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of them are paid for, to be completely honest with you. But anyway, like I was saying, with Tamadoge and Battle Infinity, the utility, the execution, the marketing, and all that stuff, like they have real world utility. They might not make it. You never know. They might not make it. They might fold as a big possibility because it's just a crypto space. It's just how it works. That's the space that we're in. That's the risk we take. But with Shopayment, the idea is there, but nothing else is there. The execution, the marketing, none of that stuff is there. So that's why a lot of people think, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at good projects that have done really well and then take a look at this project who hasn't done well at all and kind of figure out and kind of weed out, the bad from the good. So that's kind of my stance on Shopayment right now. I'm going to get out as soon as I can, regardless of what happens. Even if it shoots up to like 0.01, I'm not getting back in because there's just too much risk as far as liquidity. In Bitmart, they've added, there's too much risk in, this 59% right here. And maybe you guys are seeing something that I'm not seeing. So feel free to, leave it in the comments. I'll get back to you, but, there's just too much risk involved here, and it just doesn't, it's not, I don't foresee this project lasting any longer than, maybe a month. There's gonna, and sadly, there's gonna be people in the Telegram who are just showing up, probably like this guy right here, W less, whatever. Rizwan. And this guy's probably going to show up after everything is said and done. He's going to, or people like him are going to invest, after everything is already, gone down, and they're going to think, hey, this is the bottom now. It shot up to 0.01, and it's down to like 0.002 or something, whatever. And they're gonna like, oh, this is the bottom. Let me look at my technicals, but they didn't actually go back, and they haven't been here since pre-sale stage one, and they haven't seen all the crap that we had to go through. So now they're gonna be stuck holding a bag, and everybody's gonna get out. No profit, just gonna cash out. Look, I mean, I got in pre-sale at like stage 2, stage 3, 5. I don't remember, man. Somewhere around there. So based on what our last pre-sale was like 0.024, 26. So I'm already up essentially like 1800, 17, 1800. So even if they list at like 0.0026 or whatever I said, still up. So if I take a $500 gain over a potential $5,000 gain, eh, again, the risks outweigh the positives here. If we list at 0.005, fine, I'm out right there. I don't care. I won't even look at show payment again after this, just because you know again, there's always a possibility that it goes to 0.01, and then I'm gonna be like, damn, man, I missed out on another, and that's what everybody does. They're like, oh, they're gonna chase, they're gonna, and then they're gonna catch a falling knife trying to, time the bottom and stuff like that. And I just don't think that, that's a possibility here. If you catch a falling knife, it's gonna go down hard. It's gonna burn. So as far to your question, no profit, just gonna cash out. Look, I'm happy to get out of this project based on the risk assessment without any profit. I don't care. So same, then I'll invest my money into IMPT. IMPT, I have like $400 or $500 in IMPT. I don't know if I'm gonna make a video on it or not, because I'm busy with a lot of other things right now. But it's kind of the same concept as Big Guys, right? So they want to save the planet. They have a KYC, I believe they have a KYC with with Coin Sniper. What am I doing, man? Jeez Louise, I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Pancake swap. Okay, my bad. I think they do. They do have a KYC and an audit with Coin Sniper, or at least a KYC with Coin Sniper. Yeah. Oh, yeah, just a KYC. So I read their white paper for the most part, and it seems good. The pre-sale isn't all that great. It's as far as your pre-sale started at like 0.18, so like 18 cents or something like that, and I think it's only going to go up to like 28 cents, 26 cents or something. Off the top of my head, I can't entirely remember, but it is a decent return. So if you put in your 400, 450, and you're coming out with like 750, 800, then I mean that's a win. That's a win. It's not going to be like show payment, it's not going to be like Tamba Doge was. But look, if IMPT shoots up, way past its pre-sale last stage, then that would be awesome. But I just, I'm not putting a lot of money into anything that hasn't been audited by, Certec or another, solid proof or something like that. And I'm actually going to look at these audits now to actually read them and figure out if they've been produced by a token generator or not. But and that's pretty much it. IMPT seems okay. I did talk with Matt, and I heard him speaking in this Telegram chat as well, that he actually, I guess, knows. I don't know if he knows him personally, but he knows, some of the developers from IMPT. So that's kind of promising. But it doesn't solidify anything for me personally. But anyway, all right, guys. Or Pedro, because I guess you're probably the last one here. They will list for 0.028. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, but I'm gonna get my son to bed. I know I did a lot of talking today, but I will see you guys maybe tomorrow for another live stream. It just depends. Well, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll do a review on the craziness that goes on with show payments listing tomorrow. But all right, guys, you guys have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Bye.